Hi, everyone. This is Jacqueline. Welcome to this powerful Light the Torch celebration honoring the bold women of becoming an unstoppable woman, Rise of the Entrepreneur, the newest volume in the award winning best selling anthology series that continues to ignite transformation around the globe. Inside these pages, you'll find lessons on resilience, reinvention, leadership, and the audacity to believe that your dreams are worth building. And today we are being joined by a few of these unstoppable women that have come together to bring us this new anthology, Rise of the Entrepreneur. Hello, ladies. How are you today?
Hi.
Great. Well, first of
Doing
all,
well.
congratulations to this new anthology. And to start things off, can each of you introduce yourself for those that are still, not familiar with who you are, and share what kind of business or passion you've built? Anybody can start.
We're all so polite. Okay. So I will jump in. My name is Kathy Baldwin. I am an author with She Rises not only into this anthology, but I was talking about my journey to become an entrepreneur by writing books. And so my book, I've written 3 books with She Rises, Unlearn the Crap, How I Unlearned My Crap, and The Unlearned Life. And so in this book, I talk about how that journey took me through the authorship, that I found myself and created my entrepreneurial dream life that I've been trying to do for years, and I kept falling down. So I'm really thrilled to be a part of this.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Kathy. Maybe we can go to Janet.
Hi, I'm Janet Hamilton, and I live in Trent Lakes, Ontario, Canada. And I'm the founder of the Anomaly Factor podcast and coaching website. I'm a compassionate inquiry and integrative holistic practitioner, and I help people connect their parts into wholeness and to their authenticity. And the podcast is to highlight women that have done that exact transformation from where they were to where they are now, and what happened, how they got there, soul shift, the mind shift. And I am a serial entrepreneur. I think this is my 4th business that I've started, and still continuing to run. And yeah, I don't stop. So thanks for having me, and I'm honored to be a part of it with everyone else.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you so much, Janet. Reverend Carrie?
All right, I'm Reverend Carrie Stone, and I'm the founder and the owner of That Exist. And I'm also an ordained minister, a creative director, a soulologist, and a metaphysical practitioner. And I think this is my sixth international women's anthology with She Rises. And I just wake up every day, and it's just so awesome and astounding to just be a part. And my chapter for this women's anthology is called Rising Again and Fully Embodying One's Entrepreneurial Spirit. And it's all about overcoming and trusting goodness in life.
I'm sorry. I think we just lost Reverend Carrie, but we are just being joined by Hadija. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. So thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you for being part of this awesome new book. We are just going around sharing sharing to people who we are and why you decided to join this particular book.
Okay, so my name is Hadija Hamadi, and I'm a parent coach. And I decided to join the Rise of Entrepreneur because I'm a Rise of Entrepreneur myself. I started a business, and it was a new phase of my life as a parent and a parent coach. So I wanted to share my experience and my perspective in while I'm starting the business. I like the fact that it was Rise of an Entrepreneur because it's not like I have all it figured out. Like I still figuring things out. But meanwhile, I'm learning things and I wanted to share. And I wanted to share with the perspective of being a parent and the irony of I want to be still connected and present with my kids, but then I run this business, which is also a
Awesome.
parenting business. So I need to make sure that I'm still mindful, aligned, and connected with what I do, connecting with the business that I provide.
That's wonderful and very timely because a lot of women are, a lot of women are actually rising and deciding to enter the entrepreneur world. But that doesn't mean that we don't have kids and families and other aspects in our life that are going on now. For every entrepreneur that, they all face a defining moment. Can you share what was the turning point for you when you decided to stop playing small and just go all in and enter and be an entrepreneur yourself?
When was the turning point? I feel like it was more an accumulation of little things more than just the one big thing. And it was the accumulation of noticing that people will come to me for advice on parenting, noticing that I'm here learning and growing myself and then enjoying sharing what I'm learning. And I think at one point somebody would just say, like you just need to like share it at a bigger scale, which is something that I didn't really think about doing. So it's really right, those little comments here and there, and then reflecting and wondering if that's something that I want to continue to do. And then I think at one point I was thinking of myself, how would I do that? And I think that whole year, they were all talking about online courses, and I say, you know what, that can be one way for me to start doing something. And then I think when I started looking at how to create online courses, this is the moment I decided that I need to do the LLC, and let's just find the name and let's just get started there.
That's wonderful. Awesome. And a lot of entrepreneurs actually out there, they just need that little push. Now, I'm wondering how it was for Janet, being a serial entrepreneur yourself, Janet. What was the defining point or turning point for you when you decided, I just want to go and build businesses?
Well, the first two were actually created about 34 years ago so that my husband and I could stay home and raise our kids because he was spending so much time on the road. We thought we'd start our own business and keep him at home a little bit longer. And then the last two I started just a few years ago as a result of my own transformation and healing, because I completely burnt out and literally chose myself for the first time in my life.
Oh, that's awesome. Wonderful. What about Kathy?
Well, I have been a serial entrepreneur as well because that has been in my blood. But what I noticed was that things shifted when I became in alignment with who I was. Because before, I was either trying to start a network marketing business, or I'd have a vision, but I was not necessarily connecting all of the pieces together. So in my story, I talk about how I fell down so many times until I came into an alignment with who I am. And then it was like the yellow brick road just kind of opened and everything became really clear.
That's wonderful. What about Reverend Carrie? Do you have any turning point that you'd like to share with us?
Mine is very similar. It was all about coming into alignment with who I am solo and who I'm born to be and who I'm designed to be. And I was I was focusing on my daughter, I was focusing on my parents, I was focusing, in my younger days on helping as a visionary with my former husband. And I was putting my focus on my loved ones. And it was like this big awakening that your life is going downhill. It's not getting any better. And so it was all about turning focus inward and realizing that it wasn't selfish for me to focus inwardly and listen to the voice within. It was what I'm designed to do. So yeah, it was a huge awakening and turning point for me. And then as far as not playing small anymore, it was basically my outer world was showing me you can't play small anymore. And so I paid huge attention to that.
That's wonderful. And speaking of playing small, a lot of entrepreneurs, especially when you're entering the entrepreneurial world for the first time, you go through a lot of challenges. And sometimes it's just a little tough just pushing through it. What kept your fire burning? What made you push through?
For me,
Anybody
it was
like
my
to share?
soul.
Yes.
Yeah, for me, it was my soul. My soul literally saved me, I think. It's literally come up and out of me and made me remember who I was.
Awesome.
But the technology is what really keeps me stopping. The older you get, the harder it is to learn, and it changes so quickly.
And so it clearly, when you're an entrepreneur, challenges, they don't go away. It's always, there's always something new. But it's wonderful that, you have that particular fire that you just continue to stoke the fire and just keeps on burning. What about now? Many people think that success happens overnight, or at least we hope that success happens overnight. What's one misconception about entrepreneurship that you'd like to debunk today?
I would love to share a story on that. One of the things that I talk about in Unlearn the Crap book was the universal laws and the law of gestation and the law of rhythm. The one thing that I did not realize when I was younger is I would have these amazing brainstorm ideas, and I would put forth so much effort. But you know that giving up 6 feet before gold saying? That's what would happen is I would run out of steam or run out of resources, or I would feel like I gave up. And every single one of those ideas turned into massive businesses for somebody else. And I realized that once something is created, it can't be uncreated because I dropped it. Somebody else is going to pick it up. And so that was a major lesson for me to realize that when you create something, you just got to keep going when it's hard, because the creation has already happened. It is our expectations of the shoulds, of the timing, that takes so many people out.
I agree, Kathy. I think persistence and baby steps make it.
Awesome. What about Reverend Carrie? Do you have any advice?
Oh yeah, starting your own business and rendering to your calling and your purpose in that way. It's going to be one of the most challenging experiences of your life, because entrepreneurship, it's a spiritual journey. It is a deep spiritual journey of massive soul growth and personal individuation. So it requires much dedication. It requires a lot of self-honesty. And it requires the daily practice of going within and connecting to yourself as soul for all the levels of growth.
That's great. Thank you so much. Now, if you ladies could give one piece of advice to any women that are listening out there and they are thinking of starting their entrepreneurial journey, what would it be?
Hold the faith and believe in yourself.
That's nice. I love that. Thank you, Janet. Kathy, do you have any advice?
I have so much advice, but the one thing is that now is the most perfect time. We are in a massive time of societal, governmental, social change that is happening.
Mhm.
And I believe that the calling of each and every one of us to the entrepreneurship is the part that the world is calling for each and every one of us to align to who we truly are. And
Mm.
it is more important than ever. It's not selfish. It's actually selfish to not follow that dream.
Khadija, do you have any advice?
Can you repeat your question? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Sure. So if there's a woman out there listening and they're thinking of starting their entrepreneurial journey, what advice would you give that woman?
Just start. And actually, I had yesterday. I was at the dropping off my kids, and I saw a friend, and she's and we were talking, and she said, how is your business? And I tell her I'm sharing, and she's like, when I see you, I wanted to maybe think doing something about the cooking and catering. I said, just start. And I immediately actually told her, I'm not a business coach, but I can tell you how you can get started. Let's have coffee next week. And we already set it up. So for me, it's just start, and let's just get surround yourself with other people that wants to do it, so you can keep that fire in. Because if you talk to someone that is not in that mode, you can be discouraged from it because they are not aligned with your desire. So the moment you have that thinking, try to connect with someone else that has a business and talk with them. So that would be an advice that I would say. And then there are other steps within what is the business itself, but just for the energy, just surround yourself with it, and then get that fire in and understand why you want to do that. The why is going to help you get through the things that you're going to, the difficult journey of an entrepreneur.
I love that. I love that you mentioned that you surround yourself with people that, will just keep you going and will encourage you. And speaking of that, this particular book is actually what we are rallying about. You ladies are a collective of awesome entrepreneurs and authors that are coming up, that have come up with this book to help other women become entrepreneurs themselves. I wonder how was the journey for you being part of this collective, being part of this particular movement and book? Has this impacted you personally or professionally, or has it, helped you in a way becoming more a better entrepreneur yourself?
Oh, definitely. And for me, it was just the same thing that I would give the advice as. I started by talking to a friend about it, and that friend was all fired up and said, you need to join this community, you need to do this. And she's one of the one, actually, Sylvia Beckerhill. She reached out and said, you didn't write a book yet, but you need to write a book. And she said, you need to surround yourself. You need to join the She Rises studio. And I'm thinking, you see something in me that I don't see yet. And I love being surrounded with women like that can see your potential. They see what you're doing. They understand what you stand for. And they give you that little push. And then once you enter She Rises studio, you have to write a book. You just have to. Next thing is you have to have a show, maybe.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, for Janet and for Kathy and for Reverend Curry, who has been, part of several anthologies already, how has this experience being part of Rise of the Entrepreneur changed you or affected you as an entrepreneur yourself?
As I wrote my chapter, and I looked back on it today, and I read it again before the ceremony, and I looked back at it, and I was like, well, I didn't even realize, as I was connecting within to myself as soul and allowing that to pour through, I didn't see fully the challenges that I was walking through at the time. And then I looked back at what I wrote, and then I was like, that's exactly what needed to come out at the time, because that's what helped me in my own expansion and to walk through the uncomfortable parts of the journey. Because it's not like all peaches and cream and unicorns. You're gonna feel a lot of discomfort, but that's like your soul placing you in a position for growth and expansion, because that's what we're here for, to grow and expand. And anytime that you can take anything from your mind and your heart, connect yourself on a soul level, and bring it out onto paper with pen, you're going to evolve as a soul. You're going to grow. So actually writing and journaling is one of the huge things that I work with my clients in their journey of growth and expansion, whether it's to start a business or just personal development or any type of spiritual inner work that they're doing within themselves, whether it's to heal trauma or clear things intergenerationally, anything. So it's one of the most powerful things you can do.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. What about Janet or Kathy?
Go ahead, Kathy.
Oh, I heard your name first. For me, this was actually my first anthology. I had written 3 solo books before, and it was the topic that drew me. And when I wrote it from a place of reflection of where I'd been, what I had gone through. And when I finished, or when just before it launched, I reread my chapter and I thought, I've come so much farther from that moment. So just like Reverend Carey was talking about, it was a snapshot of my evolution. It was a moment in time, and I'm part of other anthologies that are coming up, and I'm so excited. So I think so many times people think they need to be done, but we're not done. We're always growing and evolving.
I love that. Yes, Janet.
I'm just kind of chuckling at Kathy's last comment, because I've been saying a lot lately that I can't keep up with myself because I just say yes to everything and just show up when I can. I think I've done 5 anthologies with She Rises Studios, and like Kathy said, a lot of them were done in reflection of what I've been through, what I've gone through. And I think it's imperative to surround yourself with like-minded people that will support your dreams, encourage you, and be in the more positive energy.
That's lovely. I love that. Now, to close us off here, what do you hope, in one sentence, what do you hope your readers will feel or gain after reading Becoming an Unstoppable: Rise of the Entrepreneur? Let's go around the room and
So for
share
me,
your one sentence. Yeah.
yeah. I hope they found the courage to just start and feel that they can be unstoppable.
Wonderful. I love that.
For me, I hope that they realize that if there's a calling to be an entrepreneur, that the falling down is part of the process. Just get up and keep going. You have a calling for a reason, and that process of falling and getting back up is part of the honing.
Wonderful.
For
Yes,
me,
Janet.
it's dream, believe, and achieve. If you see it, just go after it. Don't let anything stop you.
Perfect. Last
Yes.
but not the
Oh,
least,
last.
Reverend Curry.
Okay. Okay. What I love for readers to just know and feel after tapping into our anthology work is that when the entrepreneurial spirit is calling you, it's totally safe. Just trust and surrender. You don't have to be perfect. Like nothing has to be perfect for you to begin. And the phrase that I love is called pronoia. It's instead of paranoia, it's pronoia. It's when Creator's Universe supports you. And so even if you don't have family support, friends support, once you make that step, Creator's Universe is going to support you. That's how it works. And the great women like us will start showing up in your reality to provide that support. So trust yourself.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, ladies. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, and thank you for saying yes to this anthology and being part of such an awesome book. Rise of the Phoenix, or sorry, Rise of the Entrepreneur, rather, is a brilliant tool for people, for women that are just wanting to go and start their own entrepreneurial journey. So thank you again for sharing your brilliance, your truth, and for giving us that spirit that we can be unstoppable in this world. And to every woman listening out there, your story matters, your voice matters, and your dream is valid. This is your moment to rise, not someday, now. Just go ahead and start now. So grab your copy of Rise of the Entrepreneur on Amazon today and join the movement of these visionary women rising into leadership, abundance, and lasting success. Thanks again, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.